Merry meet. Welcome to Witch Magic. I'm Dawn, and I will be taking you on a spiritual journey to all things magic and witchcrafts. Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Witch Magic. In this episode, we will go over the history of tarot, how to read the cards, and the cards themselves. So before we get started, I just wanted to mention something that I recently discovered. So not that long ago, my husband and I went to a Chinese restaurant that we'd never been to before. We wanted to go check it out. And at one point, I had to go use the bathroom. So I went down the hallway that they had. Now, mind you, this restaurant was so well decorated. I mean, they had a lot of cool paintings on the brick wall, painted on the brick wall. So it was really nice looking. The decor was so amazing. But anyway, so I went down this hallway, and the first thing I see on the far wall is this makeshift, old-fashioned British telephone booth, right? And you can actually go inside it, and they have an iPad in there. And I guess you can actually make phone calls through their internet service, through their Wi-Fi. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But then as you head more towards the bathrooms, to the right, there is actually a room for fortune telling. And there was no one in there at the time, but there was a table with a nice cloth. They had these big posters of different tarot cards, which is why I'm mentioning it today, because I figured it was pretty relevant, right? But not only did they read tarot, they give you tarot readings, but they also do like palm readings. And I believe they also did use a crystal ball, because there was one on the table. And it was so amazing to me. I was in total awe. I was like, oh my gosh, I love this place. It is so cool. And there was a little stand on the desk that had with all the prices, like for the palm reading, the tarot reading, and all that kind of stuff. So I thought that was wicked amazing. Unfortunately, the person that was doing it, that normally does it, wasn't there at the moment, because I certainly would have liked to have talked to them. But anyway, let's get on with tarot. So the reason why I haven't really done a full episode about tarot, and I have mentioned this before, is because I never really resonated with the cards. I've tried different decks before. I've bought a deck for myself. I've got decks for gifts, everything like that. And I tried to read the cards, but I could never really connect with them. So I recently got gifted another tarot deck, which is amazing, by the way, because it's so colorful, and I will post some images of it if you watch it on YouTube. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to give this another go. So what I did was every night I would go through the cards. Well, first of all, I read the guidebook from cover to cover. I read everything in the guidebook because I really wanted to understand the cards and what they represented, what they meant, right? So I read the guidebook. And then after I was done with that, I decided I was going to hold every card. And while I was holding the card, I would read the description of the card in the guidebook again, right? So, and then I would take a moment to just kind of study the card, hold the card in my hands, put my energy into it, which is what you really want to be doing anytime you get any new magical items, right? You want to put your energy into it, because you never know who had it before. Even if it's brand new, even if you're the first person to own this specific magical tool, whether it's a cards, any kind of divination tool, something for your altar, anything that you're going to use for spell work, you want to make sure that you put your energy into it. And, kind of like think about what your intentions are for that specific tool. And the same goes with the cards, right? So my intentions is to get good readings and to understand the meanings, right? So I really felt that these cards were finally connecting to me. And I don't know, maybe it's the certain deck that I have, or maybe it's just the way I went about it, because I never really before took that time and where I went through each and every card. And I didn't do this in one night because there's a lot of cards, right? So I did this throughout, consecutive week, maybe less than a week. Every night, just focusing on something new. And I actually haven't done a reading yet with them, but I wanted to do this episode and do my research more on tarot so that I could better educate you on tarot, whether you're new to the craft, whether or not you've read tarot before, or even if you read tarot and maybe you can learn something new. Maybe you could tell me something new, Please do not hesitate to comment or anything. Reach out to me. Tell me your thoughts on tarot. But anyway, let's get on with tarot. So tarot cards originated in Italy during the Renaissance period. I love that period. The cards were actually used for a game called tarocchi. The game only uses 62 cards from the deck, removing the lowest 4 cards of each suit: swords, batons, cups, and coins. Swords and batons are the black suits, while cups and coins are the reds. The points are a little difficult to understand in my opinion, but from my research, they go as followed. Trump 21, Trump 1, Fool and Kings are 5 points each. Queens are 4 points. Horses are 3 points. Jacks are 2 points, and all other cards are 1 point each. So the game consists of 4 deals, each of the 4 players taking a turn. 15 cards get dealt to each player, but the dealer gets 17. But they have to decide which 2 cards to put face down. Now, there are certain cards that cannot be discarded. So players take turns putting down cards to match the last suit in the pile. And if they don't have an appropriate card, they could play a trump card. A trick, as they call each round, that contains 1 or more trumps is won by the highest card. There are communications through play. For example, letting the others know what other trump cards you may have, as well as other suits. Especially if you are playing in teams. So it seems like a very complicated game, but a lot of games are like that. You just have to learn as you go along. That's the best way to learn a new game. So in the 18th century, French occultist Jean-Baptiste Eliot, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, so forgive me, published the first tarot guide to spiritual readings. So I have put off tarot for so long because it wasn't resonating with me, right? Like I just told you before. So I still prefer the oracle, but with my recent deck, I first read and studied the guide that came with it, and then I took each card in my hand while studying it and reading about it in the guide. Doing that really helped me to connect with my deck and helped me to feel more comfortable with reading tarot. It takes time to learn it, especially when it doesn't come as natural to you as you would hope. I felt drawn to oracle readings, and I was comfortable and confident from day one. Not so with tarot, but I'm still learning, and I am giving it more of a chance now, which is why I'm ready to discuss it. Reading tarot is going to look different to everyone. It's all how you connect and interpret the cards. Each deck comes with a guidebook to help you along the way. There are different spreads you can use to help you with your readings. Be sure that you are in a place where you can focus with very little distractions. Know which spread you will use, whether it's 3 cards, 5 cards, or 7. Your guidebook will show you the different spreads and how to lay them out. Every spread has designated positions and meanings, so be sure to lay out each card in the correct order. Until you know what each card means by heart, there is no shame in referring to the guidebook or even doing your research online. But you should always trust your intuition because there is a good chance a card can mean something different to you, especially depending on the reading you are giving. It's a good idea to keep a journal and take notes of each reading so that you can refer back to it, especially if you don't know or fully understand right away what is being interpreted. Just like oracle cards, you could certainly choose to look at one card to get a basic idea of how your day will turn out. But here are some ideas of the more popular spreads. Triptych. This is probably the most go-to spread. It uses 3 cards that represent past, present, and future. If you were doing the reading for yourself, then lay out the cards from left to right. If you were doing the reading for someone else, you can lay them out the opposite way so that it's facing them, unless that would be too confusing for you to read. So do it how you feel comfortable. So otherwise, once you flip them over, you could change their positions so that they will see them left to right. So these 3 cards can also represent thought, feeling, and action. A 5-card spread. So the first card represents the situation. The second card represents what has happened in the past that got you to that situation. The third card is the most likely outcome, if nothing changes. The fourth card represents the focus on which you are aware of. And the 5th card is the unknown. What is beneath the surface? So another spread is the Celtic Cross. So the first card represents the question that is being asked. It's the present state, the theme, or the lesson. The second card is the opposing forces that are at play here. What is causing the situation, or what is holding things back? The third card represents the indicator of the future if you make no changes. This can influence your path. The fourth card is the foundation of your question, a good indicator of what there is to understand the situation. The 5th card represents what lies in the recent past as it informs the present. The 6th card is what is about to come. So you can actually stop there and just use the 6 cards, or you can continue to use the 10 cards that the Celtic Cross spread usually uses. So if that is so, then card number 7 represents you and the role you yourself in as far as your main question or thought goes. Card number 8 is the environment surrounding you, what or who is influencing you. Card number 9 represents your hopes and fears. And then card number 10 is the overall outcome. So these are just a few of the spreads that you can use. Once you get used to the cards and their meanings, you can even come up with your own spreads. As long as you and your cards are connecting and you give a good, clear indication of what answers you are seeking. So there are 2 sets in each tarot deck. We have the Major Arcana and Minor Arcana. We will now focus on each of these sets and all of the cards in them. So the Major Arcana. The Major Arcana set in your tarot deck represents life lessons, influences, and themes. They represent the structure of human consciousness. They are also known as the trump cards, which we discussed before with the Tarachi game. There are 22 cards in Major Arcana, and they represent situations we all face in life. These cards reveal messages and give you the bigger picture. So we will go over each of these cards in the deck, in the Major Arcana. The first card is the Fool. This card indicates new beginnings. The Fool is generally a positive card. Its appearance can also mean that it's time to take a look at things before moving forward. The Magician. This card means that you have all the skills and abilities to be successful. Positive changes could be coming your way. This card also shows that you have the power to manifest what you were seeking. The High Priestess. Intuition, mystery, and sensuality are key words with this card. This card indicates that it's time for you to trust your instincts and go with your gut. The Empress. This card has to do with being a parent or a parent figure. If you are a mother, you will find fulfillment. If you are a father, you need to build on your communication with your children. If you are not a parent, per se, then this card is telling you to embrace your softer side. The Emperor. This card also has parent figure meaning. The Emperor signifies the dominance of logic over emotion and of the mind over the heart. Concentration, structure, stability, and focus are required. The Hierophant. The card of traditional values and institutions. This card signifies that it's time to conform to tradition, not a time to make drastic changes. It could also mean starting traditions of your own. The Lovers. Perfect union, harmony, love, and attraction happens here. It doesn't necessarily mean with another person, but within yourself. When this card appears, it means that it's time to make major choices, especially when faced with a dilemma. Be sure to know every bit of information in order to make the right decision. The Chariot. This card represents being determined to overcome obstacles. This card means that you will be feeling motivated and ambitious. Now is the time to go for what you really want. This card can also mean that you may be acting defensively or aggressively. Maintain your focus to be successful. Strength. This card represents mastering raw emotions in order to bring calm to yourself or your situation. You will overcome obstacles referring to your inner fears and doubts. You have all the skills you need to be successful, but you need to get over your insecurities about it. Being patient and compassionate will build your confidence. The Hermit. This indicates a time of soul-searching and self-reflection, as well as spiritual enlightenment. Take some time to understand yourself. You may also be feeling antisocial. Wheel of Fortune. This card indicates luck or destiny. Big changes are coming, but sometimes change can be tough, even if it does lead to something great. Make the most of this time by focusing your intentions. Justice. This card relates to karma, legal matters, as well as cause and effect. All actions have consequences. There are lessons here to be learned as to how you came into your situation. Speak the truth and value your honesty. This card could also mean that you could be taken off balance. The Hanged Man. This card means that you are in a situation that you are unhappy with. You feel trapped. You have a chance to walk away from it or change your perspective. When faced with a dilemma, you are unsure which path to take. Relax and let things be. Death. Contrary to popular beliefs, this card does not generally mean physical death. In fact, it is poor practice to give someone a reading where you predict their death. This card signifies spiritual transformation, change, and new beginnings. This could be a traumatic change, but will bring a new outlook on life. This card could also signify that it's time to let go of old issues or beliefs. Temperance. Balance, peace, patience, and moderation are keywords here. This card means that you have found your inner calm and have a good perspective on things. Relationships in your life are harmonious. The Devil. This card represents addiction or depression. A sign of feeling trapped or restricted is also signified here. This is an illusion. You are in control of your destiny. Don't give up. Do not tolerate any abuse or negativity from anyone. You have options. On the other hand, drawing this card can also indicate obsessive or impulsive behavior. You may be overly concerned over material things. The Tower. This card is the one that represents chaos and destruction. There is a good indication of sudden, unexpected change that could be scary. This is where the phrase, "when it rains, it pours," comes to play. It will seem as if everything in your life is going wrong. But on a lighter side, it's usually followed by renewal and creation. If the surrounding cards are positive, the Tower card can represent a big change, but not necessarily a bad one. This could even be simply a warning, depending on the position of this card. The Star. This card indicates hope for the future, inspiration, and contentment. You will find yourself feeling positive and motivated. You will be in tune with the universe. You have overcome tough times and now are balanced. This means that everything is going to be okay. The Moon. This card means that not everything is as it appears to be. It urges you to trust your instincts. Pay attention to your dreams and inner thoughts. This card could represent insecurities. The Sun. Keywords are freedom, fun, positivity, and optimism. Things are going well for you. Truths will reveal themselves if you've been a victim of deception. This card could also signify good luck. Judgment. This card represents judgment, of course. Usually that people are judging you or someone you care about. If you are truthful, things will be resolved in your favor. This could also signify being separated from someone you love. The World. This card means you have the world at your feet. New worlds open up for you. You will have endless opportunities. You have endured all the hardships, and now you get to reap the rewards. Luck is on your side. This can also indicate an accomplishment. So those are the Major Arcana cards. Now let's go over and talk about the Minor Arcana. So the Minor Arcana leads us up to the bigger picture of the Major. They symbolize the intricacies of daily life. There are 56 cards with 4 suits. The Minor Arcana help guide us through new nuances of our interactions and obstacles and how we can achieve personal growth. So let's start with the Suit of Swords. Ace. Just like the first card in the Major Arcana, this card represents new beginnings. It also indicates intellectual ability and mental clarity. Keywords here are communication, focus, and vision. Two of Swords. This card represents a crossroads. Something is holding you back from making a decision, or you could be in the middle of something such as an argument. Three of Swords. This card represents unhappiness and sorrow. Conflict, distraction, and misunderstanding could also be indicated here. Give yourself time and space to heal. Four of Swords. Fear, anxiety, and stress are keywords here. You could be feeling overwhelmed. Pulling this card is the universe's way of telling you that things are not as bad as they seem. Set aside your fears, and you will find a way forward. Five of Swords. This card can represent defeat. It can also indicate conflict and lack of communication. You could take this card as a warning or as advice to overcome the challenges you are faced with. Six of Swords. This card represents progress. You have overcome the hardships, so now it's time to breathe. This card is also about inner guidance, intuition, and spirit guides. Seven of Swords. This card represents deception and lies. Someone is not really your friend, as they could be spying on you or tricking you in some devious way. Eight of Swords. This card means that you are feeling trapped or conflicted. You feel hopeless and pressured, but you are the one in control of the situation. Nine of Swords. This card signifies fear and anxiety. Your fears are making things out to be worse than what they really are. Keywords here are stress and negativity. 10. This card represents betrayal and backstabbing, also of failure, ruin, and collapse. It could mean that you are suffering through exhaustion and an inability to cope. This is pretty much a time when you feel you have hit rock bottom. Page of Swords. This card represents delayed news. It's a time to be patient and think before you speak. This could also be a time when you are being educated. Knight of Swords. This card tells you that a big change is coming, something that you have been waiting a while for. Grab it when it comes your way. This card also signifies that you have a strong personality and have leadership qualities. Queen of Swords. This card represents an older woman in your life stepping in to help. Keywords for this card are honest and truthful. When you receive constructive criticism, heed it well. This card can also indicate that you are suppressing pain or sadness from the past. King of Swords. This card represents structure and routine. It's urging you to use your head instead of your heart. Keywords are logical, integrity, and morality. So those are the suits of swords. The next group of cards are the suit of wands. Ace of Wands. This card represents good news and new beginnings. You are encouraged to take action. You may also discover your potential. You have a creative spark and are feeling bold and daring. 2. This card represents having two paths. This means you have a decision to make. It encourages you to choose wisely, so think before you decide. It can also indicate restlessness and lack of content. 3. Keywords for this card are adventure and freedom. Your hard work is paid off. It's time to move forward and to grow. 4. This card represents family and celebrations, happy times. You feel welcome and supported. Keywords are stability, prosperity, and success. Be proud of your achievements. 5. Keywords for this card are arguments, conflict, struggles. There could be clashing personalities and pent-up anger. Expect a lack of cooperation. 6. This card represents success, victory, triumph. It also signifies praise and recognition. Strength and stability are also indicated with this card. 7. This card urges you to stand up for your beliefs. Maintain control. You are protective and determined. This could also mean that you are under attack or being harassed. 8 of Wands. This card represents speed and hastiness. It signifies sudden action and excitement. You will be feeling energetic and positive. 9 of Wands. This card tells you that you are halfway through a battle. Recent events have you feeling drained, but the end of it is in sight. It also signifies courage and strength. 10 of Wands. This card indicates that a situation has become a burden. You feel obligated and restricted. You have taken on too much and are now feeling overwhelmed. But if you continue on just a little bit longer, you will be successful. Page of Wands. This card represents good news on the way. It also signifies being creative and having bright ideas. Be aware of rushing into things without thinking it through. This card also represents a child or person who is young at heart. And I'm trying to make sure that I mention the suit that I'm on right now so you can follow along. Easy enough. Knight of Wands. Things are going as expected. Take action. Put your ideas into motion. But don't just rush into things. Queen of Wands. You are feeling optimistic, outgoing, and full of energy. This card represents taking charge of things, as well as being efficient and helping others. It can also mean you are being chaotic and forgetful. King of Wands. This card indicates that you have the energy, experience, and enthusiasm to accomplish what you set out to achieve. You are taking control of your life. You will motivate those around you. Dare to be different. All right, so next is the Suit of Cups. So the Ace of Cups. Again, the ace means new beginnings, and this is usually in terms of love, empathy, and happiness. Now is a great time to form new friendships. 2 of Cups. When this card appears, it usually means that things are going well for you. This card is very positive. This card can also signify equality and balance. 3 of Cups. This is a card of reunion and celebration. Someone from your past could be making an appearance. It's time to celebrate and party on. 4 of Cups. This card represents missed opportunities, remorse, or regret. Depression and negativity are also key words here. You may be feeling bored and unmotivated. Don't dismiss opportunities that may seem insignificant now, as they may lead to something amazing. 5 of Cups. There are a lot of negative emotions in this card. Sadness, loss, loneliness, and despair are all key words here. They could be the result from a trauma or unwelcome change. But there is a positive message within this card. No matter how bad things may seem, there is always a silver lining. 6 of Cups. This card represents nostalgia. You may be feeling influenced by past events. It can signify youthfulness, playfulness, and innocence. It can indicate that you are being immature about a situation, though. 7 of Cups. Pulling this card means that you have so many options to choose from. It could be overwhelming. Limit the amount of things you were taking on to make it more manageable. This card can also signify that you are indulging in wishful thinking, fantasy. You need to make a decision in your life and realistically look at where you are. 8 of Cups. This card represents abandonment. You may be walking away from plans, people, or situations in your life. Strength and courage are necessary here. 9 of Cups. This is a positive card, which indicates that your wishes are coming true. Dreams will become a reality. Keywords are happiness, fulfillment, and joyfulness. You will be able to accomplish anything you put your mind to. You may have high self-esteem and self-confidence. 10 of Cups. This card represents true happiness and emotional and spiritual fulfillment. You can look forward to domestic bliss. You are feeling happy and secure. This applies to you and your circle of friends and family. Page of Cups. This is a messenger card, as it could come in the form of happy news, important information, invitations, or proposals. It can also represent your inner child. This could even be a time to have fun with fashion. Knight of Cups. This card represents proposals, offers, and invitations, just like the Page of Cups, and you should follow your heart. But this card also indicates gentleness, affection, and warmth. You could find yourself acting as a mediator in some sense. Queen of Cups. This card urges you to be mindful of how you treat yourself and others. This card also signifies that you have a tendency to daydream. King of Cups. This card represents kindness, compassion, and wisdom. You will be finding the balance between your heart and mind. You will learn to control your emotions. You should be gaining a deeper level of emotional maturity when this card appears. Keywords for this card are creativity, emotion, and intuition. On to the next. This is the Suit of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles. This card represents new beginnings, of course, and prosperity. This is a very positive card. This is a time to manifest your goals and achieve your dreams. 2 of Pentacles. This card indicates that you are trying to find or maintain the balance between various areas of your life. This card represents the ups and downs of life and indicates that you are resourceful, adaptable, and flexible. 3 of Pentacles. This card represents studying and learning. Keywords here are determination, dedication, and commitment. 4 of Pentacles. This card indicates that you are holding on to people, possessions, situations, or past issues. You need to establish your boundaries. This card can also indicate a lack of oneness or obstruction. 5 of Pentacles. This card represents hardship, rejection, or a negative change. It can signify bad luck and struggles. Other keywords are homelessness, unemployment, and poverty. But this card wants you to know that this is just temporary. 6 of Pentacles. This card represents gifts, kindness, and generosity. Sharing, support, charity, and donations are all indicated here. There is help available, so don't despair. 7 of Pentacles. This card indicates that you have been working very hard and it will soon pay off. If you feel like you've been getting nowhere with the situation, this card tells you that things are soon to change. This card also signifies cultivation, growing, harvesting, and planning. Eight of Pentacles. This card represents a time of hard work, commitment, and dedication. Your effort will pay off, even if it doesn't seem so at the moment. Nine of Pentacles. This card represents success, confidence, and independence. It's a card of abundance and prosperity. You worked very hard and it will finally pay off. It's a good time to pamper yourself. 10 of Pentacles. This card represents security, happiness, and solid foundations. This card also indicates family values and responsibilities. Maybe you're compelled to track your ancestors, or you feel super close to family at this time. Page of Pentacles. This card brings good news on the form of money, education, career, or health. Decide what you want and go for it. Making the right decisions will get you closer to achieving your long-term goals. Knight of Pentacles. Keywords for this card are responsibility and practicality. Work hard for what you want and finish what you start. This card can also indicate being environmentally conscientious and an animal lover. It can also signify protecting your home. Queen of Pentacles. This card represents prosperity, success, and financial independence. Approach issues in a practical manner to be successful. Work steadily toward your goals. King of Pentacles. Pulling this card means that you are trying to better yourself and being proud of your achievements. Okay, so I just want to say that I had done a lot of research online about the descriptions of these tarot cards, plus not to mention the guidebook that I have for my deck. And one of the websites that I came across that was really informative, and I have to thank, and I'm going to put the link in my show notes and the description on the YouTube channel. It's called thetarotguide.com. Very, very nice website. Has pictures. It has all this guidance, a bunch of what I described, and I got a lot of from the research on that site. So thank you for that site. So there are all the cards you will find in your deck. They all mean the same, but with different theming. So no matter what kind of deck you have, they will be different theming, but pretty much generally meaning the same thing. In these descriptions I read are the general meanings. You may end up interpreting them a little differently, especially once you get used to them. And it all depends on the positioning of the cards in whichever spread you decide to use. Also keep in mind that no reading will be 100% perfect, especially when you are just starting out. If you decide to read for others, be sure to be ethical, and I would advise you to stay away from questions regarding the outcome of someone's life, health, or pregnancy. Of course, that is entirely up to you, but remember, there is a possibility that your client will hold you accountable if what you told them doesn't hold up. So, it is a good practice to write up a disclaimer to protect yourself. Okay, well, that is all I have for you today. I hope this episode was insightful as well as enjoyable. And until next time, be magical. So that's going to do it for today. You might want to choose to get notified when I air so that you don't miss a thing. If you have any comments, please feel free to connect with me on my Facebook group. I will leave the link to that along with my website on the show notes. Blessed be.